care. It's not a stupid idea. Look, it's one of those shticks that it's not funny, then it's funny, then it isn't funny, then it is again. Like like Sideshow Bob stepping on the ricks. Yeah, like the Proclaimers. Comes around again. Of course we have time for that. What are we doing here if not for that sort of thing? Well, then you should know what we're doing. Just run with it and get everyone else on board. Yes, get McGregor on board too. The same way we do everything. Scotch. You really need to ask that? The password is Scotch. I approve the idea. Yes, I can do that. I'll take responsibility. I have too, a lot of times. Well, I will this time. I mean it this time. Yeah, I'll try it right at the beginning of the video. You'll see. Trust me. I got this. Just just tell me when we start, please, because that pretending I don't know we started the video beginning is beginning to get really old. What? What the? Good day, and welcome to another episode of Wine O Parents. We are excited to review the Blue Bayou restaurant. This is the particular eatery located in one of the Disneylands. In this case, we are talking about the Anaheim location, the Disneyland, for those that are wondering which. This particular location is situated at the beginning of the little boat ride. Yes, we are talking about Pirates of the Caribbean. Shut up, it's funny. Anyway, the restaurant is located at the beginning of the little ride. If you've ever been on this ride, then you'll probably know what I'm referring to here. This is the aria. To the right, when you start off, that has a group of people sitting there at the tables eating, which I initially thought was some part of the attraction. I remember thinking that animatronics had indeed come a long way, but what the heck did that have to do with pirates was anyone's guess. There wasn't even a ham night promotion or anything. So this is the restaurant that overlooks all of that. It's also probably the restaurant that you can't get into even with a lot of advance notice. They might as well have called it the Blue Bayou. We are booked. Shut up. Anyway, we ate there, but it took some doing. Namely, it took a fake heart attack from one of our team.
It was no fake heart attack, you wee bastards.
Fine, we replaced McGregor's thyroid pills with nitro pills. He's fine. No long-term effects, and we got into eat without any promise of anything litigious.
No long-term effects. I sound like I've been sucking on a helium tank so I can be in a cereal commercial.
Just keep taking the pills, it'll go back to normal.
It better, you smart ass.
Anyway, we got in and even got a coupon for a free small frosty with the purchase of a Baconator and large fry. Yes, it's true that the coupon was stuck to my shoe when I returned from the restroom, but how many coupons have you ever gotten at Disneyland? That's what I thought. Anyway, we were lucky enough to sit next to the water wherein the little boats drifted on by. It was quite serene, and if you have the means, I highly recommend picking one up. Should you not want to go with a fake heart attack route, you can simply ask the hostess at the front. She's the one that is saying, "I'm sorry, we're not taking any walk-ups every 5 or 6 seconds, so you can't miss her." They can't always accommodate the request, of course, but it wouldn't hurt to ask. The team ventured in for the lunch menu. Along the way, we had some cocktails, food, wine, another cocktail, and dessert. We will endeavor to comment on all of these aspects as per usual. If you have any specific questions, you can ask in the comments or just email us. We'll begin with the food and the vibe of the restaurant. And to do that, we now welcome in our own Willow Case. Willow, thank you for joining us.
Why do you keep saying we and us when it's just you over here?
What?
There's only one of you, though, so it should be me and I, unless you're doing some sort of asinine royal we, I think.
No, I'm not. I'm sort of speaking for myself and the viewers. They and I, we are welcoming in you.
So it is asinine, isn't it?
Moving on.
Quite presumptuous for you to speak for a group of people that you don't even know.
Willow, can you let me know your...
Or that, or you have multiple voices or personalities going up there in your noodle.
Know your thoughts on the vibe?
Honestly, I don't know which scenario would be more sad.
Thoughts on the vibe of the restaurant and some of the food.
Well, the vibe is quite nice. As you've mentioned, this restaurant is an indoor, made up to look like an outdoor area. In this case, because it's inside, you'd be trading the amazing weather of Southern California for the southern US. Perhaps southern Louisiana, which has oppressive heat and humidity, not to mention disease-spreading, blood-sucking creatures.
Yeah, the mosquitoes are pretty bad there, folks.
I was talking about the local politicians. However, since this is a Disney-fied version of the southern US, it's quite lovely and peaceful and calm. Also, it's the temperature-controlled environment that's nice.
Something that most of the real southern US is not. Those of you that have been to Disney World can probably attest to that.
There is even the occasional shooting star across the sky to enjoy while you're eating.
All right, anything for the parents of neurodivergent kids that they need to be aware of?
Well, keep in mind that since this is indeed indoors and since it is Disneyland, there are going to be a lot of people, and some of those people will be other children which have the potential of being loud.
This would really only apply to the jackass parents that have yet to give their children screens which entertain them.
Honestly, I don't think those type of people should even be allowed to have children.
Preaching to the choir, sister.
So just be aware that there is a lot of stimuli in the restaurant and that it will be a bit noisy, so take that into consideration before trying to get a reservation which you subsequently can't get anyway and will be turned down for.
As for the food, we had the Taste of Blue Bayou combination that was being offered at the time.
Yeah, this combination included an appetizer, an entree, and a dessert. The appetizer was a fig and prosciutto salad. Entree was the Cajun surf and turf, so it's a bony ribeye, shrimp, clams, mussels, and potatoes. The steak wasn't mixed in with the shellfish, though.
The dessert was the brown butter banana cake, if you opted to do so. The meal can also be accompanied with a wine flight. This gives 3 wines to pair with 3 courses. We will cover that with Brian in a few minutes, so stay tuned for that. Lastly, for the younger member of our team, we got the kid pasta with marinara and seasonal fruit and veggies. Willow, any thoughts on the food?
Well, of course, that's the point of the video, isn't it?
What are your thoughts on the food?
First off, the combination is a good deal if you can get it. The combo was $80 per person. That included those 3 courses. They had filet mignon option at the time. It was $54 on its own. The salad was nice and crisp and refreshing. It was ultimately a good entry into the meal. It consisted of winter greens accompanied by candied pistachios, finished off with some lovely manchego cheese and a light and non-overbearing vinaigrette.
The ribeye cooked perfectly at medium rare, which, of course, is the only temperature to cook a steak unless that person's evil.
Very evil.
The steak had a wonderful flavor and a very nice crust sear to it. The steak was a bit thinner than I would have liked. That's just more of a personal preference, I suppose. The shellfish were all very good as well. And there was a delightful Cajun butter that was melted over the entire affair that brought really together the Bayou flavors, which I believe the restaurant was going for to further the ambience if the piped-in crickets and flashing lights in the distance pretending to be fireflies didn't endear you to already. For the dessert,
Oh, here we go.
the brown butter banana cake was really amazing. As long as you don't have an aversion to banana, then you're going to really enjoy this dessert. It was served in a bananas Foster sauce and a lovely vanilla ice cream. The dessert was topped with some candied walnuts. Overall, 10 thumbs up. The salad was paired with a Far Niente Chardonnay, entree with the Senegal Cabernet Sauvignon, and finally dessert came with the Diznoko Tokaji Late Harvest wine.
Overall, an incredible meal and a good price point, obviously accounting for the Disney inflation of prices.
Absolutely. Well, thank you for the insight and the information. For the wine, we will now bring in our resident wine expert, Brian LaMarche. Brian, hello to you. Thank you for taking the time.
My pleasure. Happy to be here and get this over with.
I'll try to rip off the Band-Aid as quickly as possible. Let's start with the Chardonnay, if we might.
Very well, you may begin.
Yeah. So, the 2023 Far Niente Chardonnay, this was paired by the Disney folk with the fig and prosciutto salad. Your thoughts, sir?
The Chardonnay might have been too thick a choice for such a light appetizer. The overall feel of the wine was quite thick in the mouth, and any structure of all but the cheese and the prosciutto were lost to the wine. Personally, I would have chosen a lighter bodied pairing, perhaps a great Pinot Grigio.
So, no good?
I didn't say that. The flavor of the wine was matched well with the vinaigrette dressing, though again the texture can be swallowed up by the wine.
Then by me. Am I right?
The flavor was a lovely pairing for the choice of this wine. Unfortunately, that flavor was rather limited to the amount of fig expression in the salad.
Fig expression, by the way, would be a good name for your analysis finding. I wouldn't want to hear that coming from a doctor, huh?
You should provide complimentary aspirin to your guests. In any event, the wine was quite pleasant, and I enjoyed the melon and citrus flavors that worked well with the vinaigrette.
For the entree pairing of the ribeye steak and shellfish, I give you the 2021 Senegal Napa Valley Cabernet Sauvignon.
There are certain expectations that are associated with a Cabernet originating from this region. I went into the tasting with very high hopes. Please don't ask if they were pie-in-the-sky hopes. I wasn't getting for the flavor of the wine as well as the pairing with the meal. I have to say that my expectations were met in full. The wine had a lovely feel and structure, provided an excellent marriage with the beef and butter sauce for the shrimp.
You know what else is an expectation for an excellent?
The wine had flavors of dark red fruits, in particular cherry, and rounded out with hints of tobacco and a touch of chocolate. The joining of the wine was excellent with the beef. The seafood portion of the dish was not lost with the pairing, again because of the sauce, which had a Cajun flavor to marry well with the tobacco and chocolate/mocha. Overall, I was very pleased with this wine and this pairing.
And if you knew Brian like I do, you would know that he means it. We'll finish this up with the review of the brown butter banana cake paired with the Desnoco Late Harvest Blend.
The late harvest wine presented here for the dessert was primarily a Fumant blend. The wine presented with floral notes and an overall white fruit and honey finish. The syrupy sweetness of the dessert was picked up by the delicate honey flavors of the wine. The texture was very pleasant with the syrup feel, as well as matched quite well with the sauce and the flavor of the dessert. Overall, I found it to be an excellent choice.
So, to sum it all up, the flavors of all three seem to match, but you are a tad meh about the wine's, the first wine structure, which instead you would have preferred a lighter-bodied wine.
Yes, you are, after all, reading the summation I handed to you not 12 minutes ago.
Yeah, well, I'm just trying to have a more conversational tone, you see.
Don't.
Well, thank you, Brian, for all the warm and fuzzies. We now turn to our resident cocktail expert, one Big Dick McGregor. Welcome, sir.
I'll get you for this, you weird jackass.
So cute with the voice. Let's see, we tried the Hurricane cocktail and the mint julep. Hurricane was made with a rum mixed with passion fruit and citrus juices. The mint julep is the more traditional variation, namely an old-fashioned plus mint. Your thoughts on the Hurricane first?
It was brilliant. The fruit juices mixed well with the rum, no overly sour or sweet. It was quite balanced.
Unlike yourself after your third one.
Shut it! I had to counteract all the natural uppers with downers. It's the only medical advisable way to proceed.
Yeah, like a Nick Riviera approach to medicine, I think.
Oh?
The mint julep?
What sort of wee moron would take a perfectly good old-fashioned cocktail and ruin it with mint leaves? Really, what's the point? Just chew your Ritz and gum while you drink it if you need that flavour.
And rest assured, McGregor tried to request the drink sans the mint, first with the stick, namely his walking stick, waving back and forth in front of the waiter rather menacingly, and then switched to the carrot, meaning that he offered to make out with the waiter. Unfortunately, both were rejected, and we tipped well. It turns out the cocktails are actually mostly mixed already and can't be altered when at the restaurant.
Maybe I should have offered to.
I think you offered plenty. You're already on 2 strikes with the Disney folk anyway.
Strange of the club, 33 people have yet to write me back about my membership.
Yes, the mind boggles on that puzzle. Thank you, McGregor. And with that, we are just about... Shut up! Just about done. Feel free to leave any comments below, and as always, we thank you for your support.